A group that's been performing together as a trio since 2010, Mi Casa, have popularized the music genre called Soulful House. The trio is made up of Dr Duda, who's the music producer of the group, and he also plays keyboards for them, J'Something, who's a songwriter, vocalist, and most recently a celebrity cook, and Mo T, the trumpeter who brings the jazz influence to the Mi Casa sound. Mo T is from Alex, and he's our guest tonight to tell us more about the Mi Casa sound and his own music background, because he comes from a family of music.
Yes.
Mo T,
how are you,
good
sir?
to have you.
Oh, good to be
Lovely,
here.
lovely to be with you on the show. You know, we were talking about, what do you call it, branding? We were talking about music earlier.
Yes.
And then you talk about branding as well, and say, you know,
Definitely.
I'm trying to work my mind around music and branding. So where is the connection between the two?
Now, there's a point where it meets, you know, and when I say branding, that's from all aspects. That's our music videos,
Yes.
how we present them,
Yes,
our
yes,
style,
yeah.
us having a logo. You know, there's not
Yeah.
much groups in the country that have got their own logo, you know.
Yeah.
And, well, much respect to them that actually do have logos at
Yes,
the same time.
yeah.
But I mean, and the music itself, you know, and I always think that your music should always match your character, you know.
Yeah.
We can't play a certain music but dress in another type of way
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't
You're right.
really, you know.
You're right.
So that's why I say that's where the two meet, you know.
I agree. But
And it's-
you know, I was just curious.
Yes.
But the more you say, and I recall some of the old groups, South African and international, that had a particular look anyway. You know,
Definitely.
Even if you were at a distance, you could see on the labeling that it is the music of, let's say, the Commodores. You could see the way they wrote.
The afros,
Yes.
the shoes,
And
the
all of-
the bow bottoms, like the time or the minute that you actually mentioned the old groups, that's what I think of as a young guy.
yes,
You know,
yeah.
and yeah, basically that's that, and that's what they've created. And look now on how many years that's stuck on with
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I'm a young chap, and still automatically when you say the Commodores, and then I
Yeah.
think, hey, Afro.
Actually,
you know?
even looking at the Commodores itself, it was almost in motion.
Yes.
Now that you mention it, it was like it's flying somewhere. It's not
Definitely.
standing still. It's
Yes.
something in motion. Now, do I need a logo?
No, well, I told you that you're Mr. Tim Modise.
It
you
must-
know?
it- okay.
And you know, sometimes it's just your name. Like there's brands like Mr. Hugh Masekela himself,
Yeah.
and you know.
But you think we need Mr. in the whole? Oh, we don't, because you know.
That's just
it sounds interesting.
That's just out of respect, you know,
Yeah, okay.
from us young people, you
Yes.
know, and yeah, because
Some
yes,
from
yes,
us,
yes,
some young
yes.
people.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
others may disagree.
Yes,
with you
yes, but you know,
and say
from
they won't buy your
outside-
music anymore.
You see,
They
but
don't-
but this is me speaking on behalf of J'Something and Dr Duda. you know,
Oh, okay.
And
so,
I think
so,
if they
so
were
from,
also here,
from Mi Casa,
you see,
then that will be a shared view, right?
you're definitely gonna get respect, you know, from us, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's why I would say, Mr. Tim Modise, Mr.
Oh, well,
you know,
from Mi Casa,
yes.
Mr. Tim. I think one day I should be introduced by the group Mi Casa and say, from Mi Casa, Mr. Tim Modise.
Definitely.
Moti. Now, you know, the sound that you put together is beautiful. It's very unique. Everybody
you,
knows who Mi Casa is in the country. And you also have been able to cut across generations, for that matter, much as you are a relatively young band. But the older folk are quite happy, I'm sure you know this, to listen to Mi Casa anytime. And you know what? What I like about Mi Casa sound is people will be sitting, chatting, and ignoring whatever is going on, and standing in corners, whatever, and braaiing. And then as Mi Casa song comes on, and then they walk
Everything
away
stops.
from it. They move away from the conversations they were busy with and start bobbing to
And
the
that's
music.
the whole point, you know,
Yes.
because we've created music that will touch on everyone, all ages type of thing. You know, we're cross market, you know,
Yeah.
from a 3-year-old right up to a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's just how it's been like created, of course, like from day one, because we said, guys, let's make a change to the country. Let's always pass a positive message. Let's sing about love. Let's sing about being together. You know, all those things. And it actually worked out without us even trying too hard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people try too hard and then you're like, okay, yeah, I get the song, but it doesn't really appeal to me, you know? But we've been very blessed for people to receive us in that way, to say that, hey, man, listen, I used to view my girlfriend in this certain way, but like, since you guys wrote a song like Heavenly Sent, I actually view it in like a much better way.
Yes.
So thank you guys for writing a song like that,
That's
because
lovely. It's a good compliment.
I actually, you know, and we appreciate that also. And a song like These Streets is a song that has brought the country together also, and just saying that, you know, black and white, also bright, you know, and at the same time, when Jay wrote that, that just means that color doesn't matter. We're all human at the end of the day, you know?
But how do you guys connect ultimately to form the group, and coming from different backgrounds? You know, what was the, not the glue, but the connecting thing?
Yes, you know, I must say the group has given birth to our friendship or brotherhood, you know? And because we met when the group started. We never even knew that day that this is Mi Casa. We were just three guys jamming just, you know, in Santon. And of course, and then I went to Duda and I said, hey, can I join you, man? I actually got a call from my brother, and I said, hey, man, like, let me go and like jam with the gents. And he says, yeah, man, I actually want you to go jam with Duda. And then I said, okay, cool, no problem. And then Jay also came and he's like, gents, can I join you guys? And then, and then that's how the whole thing started. And that whole jam, and it's funny on how that you said that when people are doing something, but when the music starts playing and then they stop what they're doing, you know? That's the day that it happened also. On our first day, and without knowing each other, we met on that stage, you know? And people just were like, you know, we got to a certain song, we were playing Smooth Operator by Sade.
Yes.
And then from there, everyone just stopped what they're doing also, or like by that time, and they just had all their eyes on us, and they were like, who are these guys, you know? And then they came to us in the end and said, guys, I actually want to support you guys. Where can you get your music? Who are you? And they said, nah, we've just met now. And I was like, hey, man, nice to meet you. And then they were like, no, guys, stop joking. We really want to support you. And stop with the jokes. Where can you get this music? We said, we just met today, you know? And like, God help us that we actually get to do an album. And then Jay kept on following up and saying, gents, let's get together, let's get to studio, you know? And Duda also had his own career by that time as a DJ, so it was much harder for us because he was an established musician. So now imagine a guy having to give up what he's built over the years
and create
and to come and sacrifice for these two young guys that are only 22 years old. We were only 22 at that time, you know. And so if you want to know like my age, you know, we started this group 5 years ago. And for him to do that huge sacrifice, to say, hey man, these are my boys, but let me leave Dr. Duda brand as a DJ alone, and let me see what Mi Casa can do, you know. And we never even had the Mi Casa yet, name, sorry. And 3 months down the line, we got into studio, we got the name, and the first release was the song These Streets. After 5 weeks of release, the song was all over the country.
Well, and everybody knows who Mi Casa is and what Mi Casa sound, for that matter, is all about. But you suffered personal tragedy recently, not so long ago, and my sympathies to you. Moshe Kgasoane, well known for his time with Mango Groove, as a trumpeter, he had a major influence on you. How are you coping with that?
It hasn't been easy, but I've learned to accept. And even during his funeral, people came to me and saying to me, hey man, why didn't you cry? You've been such a strong guy and everything. I didn't cry for one reason, and I hope this helps other people also that are out there, or the youth, because I didn't cry because I had so many good times with my dad, like so much good times, and that, you know, the time when he passed, sometimes people cry because of guilt and then think of the bad stories, or thinking that, hey, he had asked me for this, I could have done this, and then, you know, now he's gone, I can't do it. He starts crying, you know, but I didn't have that because we had so much good times. My father was the sweetest guy that I've ever met, ever. You know, there'll never be a guy like my dad, like in my world, you know. And that's why I was strong for him, and I was even able to play the trumpet and to give him a good send-off, and to say that, hey, man,
that's how you remember.
This is the gift that you've given me, but you know what, like, you'll get a good send-off with the same thing that you
But
came
you know,
on
it's
earth
very
with,
hard for parents, some parents anyway, to have influence over their children. And it's a wonderful story you're telling against the backdrop of the fact that he passed on. But you remember him fondly, right? Because he even taught you the music. And therefore, it tells me you looked up to him.
Yes, he's the, you know what, and going back to my career also, and what he's put into it, he's the first person where I heard a trumpet sound. So I know there's the Miles Davis of this world, there's the Bra Hughes, there's Louis Armstrong, there's all those legends, you know. And he was the first guy, and that was during the Mango Groove days. And I was only 2 or 3 years old, and I was attending the shows, and I would just go crazy every time when it was his time to play a solo. You know, and like a song like Home Talk or Special
Imagine
Stuff.
you at a show and you turn around to everybody at the show, at the stadium, and say, "Hey, Papa! Hey, Papa!"
They wouldn't believe me, man. They wouldn't believe me.
But they've already paid to come in.
But basically, that's where the whole journey started. And I went to the shows over and over, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually falling in love with this instrument, you know? And the story just goes on, and there's a time when he picked up that, hey, this boy actually loves what I'm doing. And he got me like a cornet, you know? And it's just a smaller version of a trumpet, of course. And I thought that thing was a toy. So, and I'd always want his instrument. And I'd say, no, Papa. And I'd always, so I ended up breaking my cornet. I've still got it actually, you know. And I ended up breaking it. And by that time, because I was always fuming, thinking that, you know what, he's playing tricks on me because this is not the real trumpet. Why is it so short and everything? But that's where the whole thing started. Yeah. And later on, when I was about 15, and then that's when he started showing me the basics and, you know, saying these are the scales, this is how you do some phrasings, but be yourself. Yes. Don't try to copy me. Yes. But, you know, I'm teaching you right now, but just be yourself, you know.
Be creative and so on. So in less than 7 years, there you are now, you're jamming, and as they say, the rest is history. Here is Mi Casa.
Yes, definitely, you know. And he loved the group dearly, you know. He was so into the group. And even for the Jiga music video, he's a grandpa, they do the Jiga dance. And he's just, would never ever struggle with the old man. If we said, like, please, like help us with the music video, we're shooting like a music video.
He'd say anytime.
And he'd say, no, guys, let's do this thing. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to meet the rest of the group soon. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
But I appreciate that you took the time to be with us here on the show.
Well, thanks for having us. You know, I'm going to say us. I'm not going to say me because, I mean, of course, the other gents are busy in the studio at the moment. So, yeah, but as a part of Mi Casa, we just want to say thank you. And yeah, we'll be back soon again. The whole group will be back here.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. When are you dropping whatever you're dropping? Is it single, EP, or LP?
We're actually busy with the Africa tour right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's called Mi Casa Unlock Africa, or hashtag. And we just finished with SA Tourism with a short left tour that we're also doing like around the country. Yeah. And basically that's just to show people that we should appreciate our country more. We shouldn't go now and take expensive holidays in expensive countries and all of that. We have our own country that's so beautiful. So let's make use of it. You know, we've got Cape Town, we've got Durban, we've got beautiful places. You know, so basically that's what we're doing, and just putting the message out there that, guys.
Well, as soon as you're done with that, you come around here.
Definitely.
Much appreciated. All right, what's the logo? How should it look? What's the branding now? You say any suggestions? So at least I can go out and tell a story down the line. One day I'll be interviewed.
If you got the album, then you'll know the logo.
No, I'm just saying, somebody will interview me and say, why are you called Mr. Tim Modise? Then I can say, you know, I had Moti here in Mi Casa. You know the group Mi Casa? They prefer to call me Mr. Tim Modise, so that's where it comes from. Anyway, Moti, thank you very much.
No, great, man. Thanks for having me.
Much appreciated. Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and thanks again for watching. We invite you to be with us again next time. Moti, the trumpet player for Mi Casa, was our guest tonight, and we wish them everything of the best. From us, good night to you.